So welcome to the Canadian Cardiovascular Congress 2016 in Montreal. We're very lucky to have Dr. Eric Yu to do an interview for us for the trainees. So Dr. Eric Yu obtained his MD degree from the University of Toronto and did his internal medicine residency and his cardiology residency at the University of Toronto. He then completed a fellowship in research and in echocardiography at the University of Toronto. He is now the program director for the adult cardiology program at University of Toronto and has been actively involved as a faculty contributor for the adult training review program. So Dr. Yu, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for accepting to do the interview. So we'll just start. So what advice do you have? You're a program director, so what advice do you have for trainees who are looking for an academic career and want to do research as well? So what are the first steps to take?
I think the first step to take is you need to find an area that you're passionate in. And we have a lot of specialties, be it invasive, non-invasive, be it research. You have to find an area that you're very happy doing. That's something that you would be happy waking up every day to go to work to do. And make sure you find something that you like doing. And if you find something that you like doing, then that's the first step.
Perfect. And what are the roles of mentors for you? Is it mandatory? Do you recommend? What's the policy at the University of Toronto? Does everyone has a mentor, or they find a mentor on their own? And what's the importance of that?
We've tried to have a formal mentoring process, but it's difficult because you don't know exactly what the trainee wants. So you have to sort of pair them up after they've declared their interest. So what we do is we ask them what they're interested in, and then we have a selection of people we can point them to. And I think the role of the mentor, it's not just to help you get a job or help you with your research, and we need people like that. But I think the most important role as a mentor is you have to be able and willing to take a trainee under your wing, and you have to be able to show them where the pitfalls are of how you got to your career. You have to be willing to be able to tell them when they're not performing as well or where they need to, and at times just pick them up and say, you know, you need to do this better, or you need to try another approach. And I think that if you're able to do that as a mentor, and if the trainee is lucky enough to find someone like that, I think that's the most important thing. But ultimately, as I say to all my trainees, is you know you found the ideal mentor when you've found a person that is willing to give up their job for you in a couple of years. And finding that individual is not easy, but there are individuals out there. But it's just a case of just, you know, taking faith in individuals and, you know, being receptive to what they have to say. They're all wonderful, talented individuals, these trainees, but at times, and even for us as faculty, you have to be willing to step back and let your peers tell you what they think that you could do to improve things. And if you're willing to take that approach, I think you'll do very well.
What were the roles of mentors in your own careers? Do you still have mentors?
Yes, my biggest mentor unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago when I was, he watched over me when I was a trainee. But again, it's the people that are tough on you, the people that you don't realize that, you know, when you're a trainee, you realize, oh, this person's quite tough and quite demanding. You only realize after they're gone that they were really there for you, and all that toughness and all that expectation was to get you to take it to a different level. And even now, I think the more important mentors that you have are the ones that have the expectation that you can do more. The ones that actually tell you that, you know, you can improve in this area, improve in that area, and that are willing to help you to that. And I think that's the most important.
So you're program director. What did you make this choice, and what recommendation would you have for trainees who would be interested in medical education? How would you convince, or what would you say to someone who wants to have a more educational career and be program director?
Yeah, my career was interesting. I started out as a pure echo researcher, and I did that for about 5-6 years, and I think, you know, I needed a change. I think I accomplished what I wanted to that. My other interest was medical education because I have a master's in education. And I think that's something you're passionate about. At the end of the day, you want to see people succeed, right? As an educator, the most important thing is your students or your trainees, they're doing well. And if you think about something like that, then it comes naturally. You go the extra mile to develop, you know, little things that will help them, little programs, changes in curricula, syllabus. And, you know, as long as you have that passion, people will gravitate towards that and you will be successful. Yeah.
And how do you manage? Is it difficult to manage your time between medical education duties, research, clinical work, and possibly personal life?
People, people throw around the concept of work-life balance. I'm not totally convinced that that's truly accurate. I look upon it as work-life choice. There are individuals that choose to work, and they love exactly what they're doing, and that's all they do. I think if you're passionate about what you're doing, you really don't see it as a balance. So, what I do for all the countless hours that you spend on education, you actually enjoy it, right? If you actually enjoy it, it's not seen as work. And I think that, you sort of try to juggle your schedule to allow you to do all those things.
And if you look back at your career, now that you know what path you took, would you have made any other decision or things that you would regret or make differently?
Hindsight is 20/20. I mean, there are some things that you would have done. You said, oh, maybe I should have done this or taken another career path. I think at the end of the day is I followed my heart. When I did cardiology, that was the only thing I wanted to do. When I first sat down with my first divisional chief, he says, you'll never make it as an educator. We don't have any need for educators in the system. And I took upon that and says, well, this is the only thing I would like to do. He offered me a job to go into the lab for 6-7 years to splice mice and that, but I wasn't interested in that. So I think that as long as you find something that you're passionate about, as long as you believe in it, things open up and education takes off. So do something that you like doing.
And what's the role of specific training in education for people who are interested? Do you think it's mandatory, it's a bonus, or it's just if you're interested, it's an option to take?
Yeah, I think that, to be honest with you, I don't think you need an educational degree to be a good teacher, to be a good educator. I think that for a lot of trainees nowadays with our academic environments and the requirements you need to have something. I think what the degree helps you to do is you understand the methodology, you understand the terminology, you understand where people are coming from. It provides you with credentials. Does it make you be a better teacher? I think the answer is no. I think all of that is you need the credentials, but a lot of the other things such as developing a program, that's all, whatever your vision takes it to be.
Perfect, Dr. Yud. Any last word of advice for trainees?
I've trained a lot of them, and I'll give you the same advice to what I give most of them. You're all very talented individuals. You're able to do, if you take a look at your CVs compared with when we started, it's like, we'd be lucky to get jobs. I think the only advice I could give that I think would be pertinent is that as long as your work ethic exceeds your level of talent, you will do well.
Well, thank you so much on behalf of all the trainees in the Canadian Cardiovascular Society. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Yu.
Thank you very much.